Inselmilkom, sinjuri, grazzi li qed issegwu il-programm illum. Sa nintaqgħu illum għal Culture News ma' l-Ambaxxatriċi ġdida ta' Franza għal Malta, l-Eċċellenza Sandrine Lelong Motta. Thank you very much, Your Excellency, for greeting us here in your official residence.
It's a great pleasure to welcome you at the residence of France in Malta, and I'm very, very happy to discuss with you.
And welcome to Malta. I hope you're enjoying it.
Really, it's, as always said, Malta was on the top of my list, and I arrived 6 months ago in Malta, and it's a pleasure every morning to be here.
Thank you very much. I hope you'll have an enjoyable stay here. You've just arrived very recently. Can you talk us through your career path? What brought you here to Malta?
I'm a career diplomat, but previously I had a first job. I was an administrative judge, specialized, sorry for my English, in illegal immigration in Paris. So then I entered the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and occupied different posts. Previously I lived in Mexico, Brussels, Rome, Chicago and Rabat. I was the head of the visa policy section at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. I was Consul General of France in Rabat, Morocco for 4 years before coming to Malta.
We have a Rabat here in Malta.
Yes, I know.
Have you visited yet?
Yes, and it was, I can tell you, it was my first trip when I arrived. It was from Rabat to Rabat. And I have this picture that I sent to my friends in Morocco, say, yes, I arrived. This place, it was made for me. So I'm very happy.
How do you envisage the diplomatic relations spanning out here in Malta, between Malta and France?
We are, Malta and France are an excellent relation since the independence of the country, and we are very, very proud of that we opened immediately an embassy 60 years ago. And this relation between our two countries could be defined by mutual respect and trust. And this is really, really important between two states. Most of all, and this is also something with the specificity of Malta. For sure, it's a quite small country, but it's very, very interesting because you are able to interact very often with the minister, with every officials in Malta. So if you are like this, for me, it has been only 6 months in Malta, but already I don't know everybody in Malta, but I'm quite sure that at the end of my tenure, I would be able to meet more or less, not everybody, but so many Maltese.
Which areas do you hope to focus on during your stay here?
Many things. Because we have, as I said, the relation between our two countries is excellent, and this relation is based in very strong principle, because we share common values. First of all, we are both European Union member states, so we are together to build a better future for our citizens, for our fellow citizens. At the same time, both we are Mediterranean states. And this is also very important because we need to face the same challenges of climate change, migrations. Everything is something that we are both in the same boat. And also at the end, we share a real commitment to multilateralism. So in my tenure here, I would like to promote France in every subject. We know that regarding history, we are not like the UK or like the Italy, because there is this very vicinity, geographical vicinity with Italy. But France, with all these aspects, we can be always a challenger, another option in every aspect, in political relationship, in economy, in culture, in so many things. For instance, I'm very, very happy because a French school will open in Malta next September 2025, and it will be, in my opinion, a game changer for the influence of my country in Malta. Absolutely. Because it will be not only a French school, it will be a bilingual school with a French and English curriculum plus Maltese. So it's not only for the expatriates and community, but also for Maltese people. And this, it's very important because after school, we will be able also to promote French universities. Mm-hmm. And you know, French universities are very good.
Absolutely.
And they are free. It's not like in the UK. Mm-hmm. So we need, you know, you have to always to promote another option. Mm-hmm. So this is my goal.
What a great project. I think a lot of our viewers would like to hear a bit more about the school.
So, it's very, very practical.
Can you expand a bit more?
Yes, with pleasure.
Because it's very important in Malta for parents to educate
families.
Our children.
I know this, and you know, I've been, also when you see my name, I have some connection with Italy, and I know the importance. When you have children, you want the best for your children. So the French school, it will be, which is really a private school, and it's only a bilingual school. It will be localized in Pembroke. The school will begin first with kindergarten and elementary to be able to bring a generation year by year to the French baccalaureate, and it will be at the same time the French baccalaureate and a high school diploma, because this it's an association who has already 8 schools in the Emirates, in Lebanon, and in Djerba, Tunisia. Malta will be their first school inside the European Union, and it's a very, very nice challenge. And so this school will have the full support of the embassy, obviously.
What's the name of the school?
Alors in French, it will be the Lycée Français Bilingue International de Malte.
Wow.
So
okay.
it will be easier. LFBE Malta.
Mm-hmm. Amazing.
And you know, I can assure you, I always say, because no, my children are very old. They are young adults.
Yes.
They are nearly 26 and 20. My son just turned 23, and they are children of diplomats. They travel all over the world. So my daughter was born in Mexico. My son was born in Belgium. So like this. And in Paris, they were in this kind of school. So I will say I could be a very good, VRP of that school, because I know the method. And their English is perfect, not like mine.
I have to say, I mean, if I had kids, my kids are older also, if I had kids now, I'd be very excited about this.
Yes, and it's something, because when you are parents, to give your children another possibilities, and not only to learn a language, to learn a culture, a very good academic curriculum, and then to be able to study in France, also in the UK and the US, or in Canada, for instance. And you have part of Canada, Montreal, it's French speaking. Mm-hmm. So it's just again,
it opens up more doors.
It opens more doors.
Absolutely. That's really interesting. I'll really watch out for it. Are you planning any events or initiatives to honor the shared history of our two countries?
Yes, France has a very big moment, big importance in Malta's history at the time of the Knights. Then we have these 2 specific years with Napoleon, and then perhaps, you know, you have always this kind of not competition with the UK in Malta, that the French period in Malta was always criticized. And, you know, for instance, it's very nice. I visited the Maritime Museum in Virgo.
Yes.
And it's a beautiful museum, by the way. And at the entrance of the museum, you have the French part, and you can see the letter of Napoleon and these. And immediately, you switch to the English part.
Absolutely.
The British part. And there are some criticism on the French, but this is history. So I guess you need now to give more objectivity. And when you see, for instance, that, and in this, Malta is very specific because it's a mixed, it's like the Maltese language. And when you see the law system, it's a mixed between the Anglo-Saxon and still some legacy of Napoleon. For this, you know, we will try. There are lectures, for instance, that we organize with the cultural service of the embassy lecture. There is one in March, a story in Malta. Last year, we have some restoration of a specific painting that is in Medina Co-Cathedral Museum. And now, my goal should be to be able to organize a nice exhibition regarding the French presence in Malta. You know, this is one of my things. I need that you should do something very important to promote history.
And obviously now we have the EU that's in common, which is no longer a common factor with Britain.
With Britain, yes.
So there's more synergy now, more scope for collaboration.
For collaboration, and you see there is still this the important place of France in the Mediterranean, that we have this common history. This is very important.
Speaking about initiatives, you've got many initiatives throughout the year. You've always been very proactive as an embassy. Recently, you've also had Professor Grimbaum, who's also been on our program. What other initiatives of this sort do you have coming up?
We will have a big initiative regarding the United Nations Conference for the Ocean that will take place in Nice next June, June 2025. It will be to do like a parallel, like the COP21 for the ocean. The goal is this. This big conference will take place between the 9th and 13th of June. And in May, we will organize, jointly with the Maltese Ministry of Foreign Affairs and the Malta French Chamber of Commerce, a conference towards this UNOC 3 is the name of this United Nations Summit in Nice, to emphasize the importance of the ocean and the preservation of the ocean for both countries, but not only politically, but also regarding science, for instance, conservation of biodiversity, and obviously regarding the blue economy. Because when we talk about Malta, you will think about maritime sector.
Absolutely.
Yes. Maritime sector is a key aspect of Malta. There is something, there is Malta Freeport. And this, we have so many things in common. Because in Malta Freeport, we have CGA-CGM, and CGA-CGM is French. So this, you know, this is something that really we will promote a lot. We have obviously a cultural agenda with a lecture. For instance, we'll have in May a lecture on a French writer, Paul Morand, who was also a diplomat. So, you know, we try always to organize concert, offering or participating. For instance, we will have also an event during Birmit Fu Festival at the end of April. You know, so many things.
Very varied.
Very varied.
Something for everyone. Really.
Something for everyone. Because, you know, this is important when you're promoting your country. It's not for a specific kind of people. You need to be able to provoke the interest for young people from more adult.
Yes.
For instance, something very interesting. We have always a corner and Malta Books Fair. And last year we have also people coming from France for the cartoons. I don't know exactly, it's a cartoon festival.
Yes, yes.
You know, this is something important. You have to find always a way also to promote our movies, to promote arts, to promote, obviously last year we had the Olympic Games, and also to promote sports things. You know, you need to be, when you're an ambassador, it's a fantastic job, because you are representing your country 24/7. So this also sign of it's a duty, but you are able to, yes, I can't say anything more than promote.
And you always have Bastille Day also.
Yes.
Yes. And activities here in Zebuj, where your official residence is.
Yes. This, you know, I don't know, this year we will do the same. We have Bastille Day here, perhaps only Bastille Day, but perhaps a little bigger than last year. We don't know yet exactly.
Can we focus a bit about France and Malta and the collaboration within the EU framework? How can Malta contribute, together with France, towards these objectives?
I think that, as I said before, we are both countries totally committed to multilateralism and, for instance, committed to find a real peace in Ukraine. This is something that you need to work together to find a true and lasting peace.
Erġa' segwi dan il-programm fuq Net on Demand.
We want peace. So, for this reason, we had France as stressed the importance to reinforce the security, the defense policy in Europe. At the same time, as both countries, we are totally involved to find real solution in regarding migrations topic, because it's something that migrations, and you see, a place like Malta is as a strategic spot in the middle of the Mediterranean. So, and it's a mixed. It's a place regarding its history that has known so many people. So, and right now it's something that migration is not something that you will stop one day from another.
No.
You need to work on the origin of migration, and also to promote the legal migration, and to struggle, on the contrary, against people who don't do perhaps the right things.
Yes. Because, I mean, we have figures for immigration here in Malta, but there's also the unofficial figures that everyone is aware of. So it is a very difficult topic, a difficult issue. How do you view the role of smaller EU member states like Malta in shaping the EU policies alongside larger nations like France?
In my point of view, there is no, in politics, there is no small states, because one state, one vote. When you have in certain subjects unanimity, Malta, France or Germany, at the end more or less it's the same. So it's important to bring everybody on board and respect. Malta has this specificity. It's, for sure, it's an island. It's a country that has known fantastic growth in 20 years. So now it needs to, I'll say this, there are this Malta Vision 2050, which is also very interesting, because it's important to work on the quality of life for Maltese people. As I said, the residents in Zebuj, we are the lucky one because our embassy is in Valletta. We are the only country to have the embassy in Melita Street, Valletta. But I can, how to say that? I can measure the traffic every morning and every night.
Yes.
So you were talking before about, perfectly remember that the week of Sigma, it took me 1 hour and 20 minutes to arrive in my office in the morning. And like everybody in Malta, you spend a lot of time in your car.
We do. But I mean, that was only an event
Yes,
of 3
I know.
days.
But in any case,
Yes.
you know that mobility is something. It's something very important.
Absolutely.
Mobility. There is, and when you have this big subject for the future of Malta, you have mobility, you have energy, something about electricity. You have also the quality of life, and there is a reflection also, and this I think it's something very, very important, a reflection on what kind of tourism Malta will support for a long time. Because it's a beautiful day, and when I went out of the embassy, I said, oh, there is already so many tourists.
I mean, the idea generally is to have more quality rather than quantity, but I don't think we've achieved that yet as a country. But we're working towards it.
Yes, because you need also to combine,
yes.
And it's totally understandable, because you need to have to make the economy works.
Absolutely.
So you need to combine short-term profit and the long-term vision. When you sometimes, I know I was discussing with people from EY recently, and they told me I would think that in 2050 there will be 700,000 inhabitants in Malta. And I say, it's perhaps a little too much for 340 kilometers if we include Gozo.
Absolutely.
So,
and you're talking about quality of life, which is very important. As a career woman, can I ask you a question about quality of life? You're a family woman also with children. What are your views on remote working? Because obviously that's something that became very popular during COVID, but now there's people thinking sort of one way is better than the other and we must go back to the old model. Do you mind giving us your comments, sharing your comments? In fact, nowadays they're calling it not remote working anymore, it's digital working.
Digital working.
Yes.
For a diplomat, we are not promoting a lot of remote working, because our job is based to human relations. We need to go out. We need to meet people. So for sure, like everybody, I work on my laptop in the evening and on the weekend and this. So this, in my job, is very specific. I guess you need to have the right balance. You need to have the possibility for the parents, and it should be not only for women, but also not only for the mother, but also for the father. Most of the time it's a lot for the mother, to have enough time to be with their children. Because this quality time with their children is something that time flies. There's a time that you need, and you need to be there for certain things. But at the same time, and also it's quite unfair, because there are professions it's impossible to do.
Absolutely.
I don't know, digital work or thing. So I think it's manufacturing.
It's
services.
Yes.
The health sector. It's always something. You can have now some video consultation with a doctor, but perhaps because I'm an old school person, for me, if you are coughing, it's better to have your lung checked by a doctor. With a camera, it's not so easy. But, I think in everything, a right balance is good.
France has recently undergone some political changes, including a new prime minister. How have these developments impacted France's foreign policy?
In France, it's quite clear that the foreign policy is part of in French we say domaine réservé, the specific competence of the President of the Republic. So there wasn't any specific change in our foreign policy. We still the main guideline regarding the French commitment to the EU and multilateralism.
Thank you. With economic challenges such as the national deficit being a concern, what measures is France considering to address these issues?
I guess it's also quite even more complicated now regarding the global environment now. So it will be cuts in some public spending, but also trying always to sustain our economy, because you need to also be with the companies, with the economic sector.
Your Excellency, as somebody who's taken up this post so recently in Malta, what do you think of the Maltese people and the country that you've seen so far?
Maltese people are great. They are very, very nice people, and they are great because they are at the same time Mediterranean and Anglo-Saxon, and also it is a mixed. And I give you an example, very specific. I had the pleasure, we were all together for Christmas. I had spent Christmas in Malta. And my daughter, she works in London. So we were flying back, me to France, she was flying back to London, but we don't have exactly the same time. So I was, to have the flight to go to Paris, it's a very early flight, so we need to get up at 3 a.m. in the morning, and her flight was perhaps 2 or 3 hours later, but we were together at the airport. And the lady, she told me, no, she can't pass, and this and that. So it was like the British way of doing things. When I say, I'm so sorry, it's my daughter, I won't see her, and this and that. And a certain time, the supervisor came, and I explained to him. And he saw it was the Mediterranean. Oh, it's your daughter. Oh. Yes, it's okay for 30 minutes. Oh. And it was so nice. Yeah. It's a Maltese character. Because sometimes, it's very British style. And then you have, because people are nice. Yes. And this is something, it's very pleasant in her job. We move from one country to another every 3 or 4 years. Mm-hmm. And each time you need to get used to another culture, to another history. Mm-hmm. I always say to be a good diplomat, you need to be curious. Mm-hmm. You need to be curious, you need to be humble and respectful of the tradition, and never judgmental, because each country has its proper history. And here, for me, it's very easy. Perhaps the most complicated things, because I'm French, was to drive, because I'm on the other side of the road.
That's very British still.
It's a British side. And at the beginning, I wasn't so sure of my driving. Mm-hmm. But it's very, very, they are nice people, and they are very helpful and very interesting. Because there's something, for instance, I discovered, because honestly I didn't know that, all the migration history of Malta to Australia. Mm-hmm. I didn't know anything about that. Mm-hmm. And when you talk with people around, and they explain, yes, part of the family, and because, for instance, they explained me that they are by street from one house to the other, and then they are coming back to Malta. But this,
Australia and Canada also. Canada was very popular also.
Very popular. And this, it's something, it's so, at the same time we have this common history. Mm-hmm. And it's a beautiful place, and it's so different. Mm-hmm. It's from Valletta, which is a historical place. Then you go to the Point Slima, up more the nightlife. Mm-hmm. But if you go to the other side, Eintufia, mm-hmm. It's beautiful. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's fantastic. Mm-hmm. You go south to Marsashlock, you are in a typical Mediterranean place.
Yes, yes.
So, and you have so diverse. Mm-hmm. So yes, it's an island, but I don't feel
Crammed. You don't
Crammed,
feel-
yeah.
Yes, yes.
So it's beautiful, and the weather is quite fantastic.
It is. You mentioned the Mediterranean quite a lot during our conversation today. I believe there's about 23 Mediterranean countries. Do you believe we do have something in common that unites us?
Yes, I really believe so, because Mare Nostrum, as is Mediterranean, is an history, and also it's very specific, because it's something like a common soul, you know. And when you I live in the US, when you see the ocean, it's totally different. It's totally different. So I guess it's very important.
Once again, thank you very much, Your Excellency, for speaking to us about your culture and your country. What I wanted to ask you today, if somebody comes to visit your country this year, what would you propose that they should do, and where should they visit?
I guess, like so many people, I will say Paris, and to have the opportunity to visit Notre Dame, because it's fantastic. It's really a new cathedral. It's so different as before, and it's a fantastic place. So I will say first Notre Dame. The Nice will have so many things, because we have a big the United Nations conference at the mid-June, and throughout the summer there will be so many events, exhibitions in the Côte d'Azur. And also I have always a very favorite place, because it's another part of France, the Pays Basque, near the Spanish border, because it's totally different. So like this you have, and I know that so many Maltese people, they go to Lourdes, and you can do a little extension between Lourdes and Le Pays Basque. It's still in the Pyrenees Atlantic. And you will have another kind. It's not the Mediterranean, as you see here in Malta. It's Atlantic Ocean, and it's a beautiful country. And the food is very, very good.
And what would you recommend food-wise?
Oh.
Apart from what we would normally think of.
Oh, this I don't know, because I could tell you cheese. I don't know. It's very complicated food-wise, because, you know, it's like France, you have so many food regionally. For instance, if you go to Brittany, you will have the crepe, but it has nothing to do like the crepe that you have on the street. It's here is all the tradition about the crepe. If you go, for instance, in the Pays Basque, there is the food, you have some specific cheese, sheep cheese, with a specific ham, le jambon de Bayonne. You have specific pastries. You have, when you go to Alsatia, you have so many food. So, and the dessert, the French dessert are very, very good.
Such as?
Such as macaron, such as profiterole, such as éclair au chocolat. No, we have so many things to put weight on in France. This is a problem.
Thank you very much.
Thank you
for
so
your
much.
time. Thank you. Grazzi Sinjuri li segwejtu l-programm illum. Iltqajna mal-Ambaxxatriċi ta' Franza għal Malta, l-Eċċellenza Sandrine Lelong Motta. Jekk għandkom xi kummenti batuhom permezz tal-WhatsApp fuq in-numru li jidher fuq l-iskrin. Jiena Lea Hogg għal Net TV nixtieq ilkom il-lejjed tajjeb.